Excuse me? But it appears that there's a bit of a challenge with the laundry. It seems to retain wrinkles, and some stains persist. Expressing her concern, she deliberately let the laundry cascade into the floor. Instances of such behavior continue to prevail, even in modern times. I was left astonished, and Amanda went on to say, I question the efficacy of your efforts in managing household tasks. A spouse incapable of handling domestic responsibilities? Wouldn't you agree, my dear? At that juncture, my husband's father, engrossed in a newspaper in the living room, added his perspective.
Indeed, you're absolutely correct.
Amid hearty laughter, I persevered thus far, but it becomes increasingly challenging. My husband Chris and I are on the brink of celebrating our initial year of matrimony. He used to be a colleague from my prior job. My daily interactions with him at work, coupled with his sincere and diligent demeanor, gradually captivated me. Simply being in his company brought joy to my days. However, one unexpected event altered the course of things.
Addie, I hold affection for you. I seek a committed relationship with the potential for marriage. Would you be open to that?
Caught off guard by his sudden confession, I couldn't conceal my surprise. Yet, since my feelings for him were already established, I accepted without hesitation. After a year of courtship, we tied the knot. His sincerity, dedication, and commitment to my well-being endured even after marriage, leading to contentment in our daily lives. Ideally, I would express these sentiments, but the reality is that a particular concern looms over us. Since the inception of our marital journey, we resided with his parents in their residence. The company I previously worked for was a renowned local establishment with branches even in metropolitan areas, enjoying widespread respect. Merely being associated with this company bestowed upon individuals a certain prestige. However, antiquated perspectives persist, with a prevailing notion that in-house marriages necessitates the wife's resignation. Despite our desire to continue working, tradition dictated my resignation upon marriage. Furthermore, such conservative viewpoints persisted in our region. Upon marriage, the customary expectation is for the wife to reside with her husband's parents, assuming the role of a full-time homemaker, a tradition that endures. To be honest, I was taken aback by the persistence of such customs in present era. Neither my husband nor I completely subscribed to these ideals, but compromises were made to facilitate our union, cohabitation and my resignation being part of the pact. Post-wedding, we promptly moved in with my in-laws, and my journey as a full-time homemaker commenced. Starting today, I'll contribute my best to the family. I'm grateful for this new chapter. My husband's mother, Amanda, replied, I haven't fully accepted you as Chris's wife. Consider this a training period for you to become a competent wife. Your future here depends on your performance, so put in your best effort. Amanda suddenly conveyed disapproval from day one. Starting the next day, my wake-up call arrived at 4 a.m., with responsibilities including lunch preparation, breakfast arrangement, laundry, cleaning, window cleaning, bath maintenance, and every conceivable household chore. If that were the extent of it, I might have coped, but the constant underhanded comments persisted, such as, do you truly believe you could marry with such limited skills? Your competence is questionable. I wonder if you're fit to be my son's wife. Every action triggered by a barrage of sarcasm. While her husband, Rodney, maintained silence, his expressions hinted at a shared sentiment, observing with a smirk. The initial impression wasn't favorable, and it turned out to be even more challenging. My sole support was my husband, but in his presence, they simply watched us with smirks. Even knowing its tactic, seeking assistance from Chris seemed futile. Due to his demanding work hours, the daily insults and harassment persisted in his absence. Given the numerous injustices, I constantly updated my husband.
I apologize. I'll address it with them and ensure they comprehend. Report any issues to me immediately.
His support was unwavering, tackling issues whenever possible. It was comforting that my husband empathized. After a month of marriage, the mistreatment began taking a toll on my well-being. One day, while folding laundry, Amanda remarked, Hey, your skills seem lacking. The laundry is consistently wrinkled and many stains persist. You know? Saying this, she deliberately dropped the laundry on the floor. I couldn't fathom that such mistreatment still persisted in this day and age. Our son deserves a wife who can efficiently manage household chores. Don't you think, dear? Rodney, immersed in his newspaper in the living room, chimed in.
Absolutely right.
With a hearty laugh. I enjoyed it this far, but I've reached my limit. I promptly reported the laundry incident to Chris. Upon hearing my account, he grew furious and sternly cautioned his parents. However, Amanda dismissed it, stating, Oh, I didn't mean any harm. The laundry just happened to fall while we were conversing. It's quite distressing to be accused like this. Rodney commented,
Adeline being serious is good, but not understanding humor could be a problem.
Without taking Chris's words seriously, they sidestepped the issue entirely. Seemed like a futile conversation.
I apologize. Addie, I've put you through so much.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault, honey. If anything, having you around has been my solace. But I'm growing weary.
If it becomes too much, we can reconsider living here. If needed, we can even sever ties with the family.
Despite my weakened mental state, his apology and caring attitude provided a sense of relief. I resolved to face the challenges anew, not just for myself, but for Chris. One time, a grand family gathering dinner was scheduled at our place. Despite feeling disheartened as a young homemaker, I couldn't evade meal preparation. So, I spent several days planning the menu and completed the shopping the day before dinner. That night, while having dinner as usual, I heard, "Hey, what's with this insipid seasoning? The meal is inedible. Do you think we're old and foolish?" Huh? No? I certainly didn't mean that. It was a new recipe, and I followed it as it was. A recipe that teaches awful seasoning? We don't need that kind of recipe. Amanda complained about the taste, and Rodney, pretending to watch TV, seemed oblivious, or more accurately, pretending to be oblivious. On this day with preparations for the next day's dinner, I checked the menu, went shopping, did the prep work, and started preparing tonight's dinner. I was exhausted, and although I usually endure, tiredness got the better of me. I unintentionally retorted, "Is that so? If it doesn't suit your taste, you don't have to eat it." Amanda probably didn't expect me to respond. She looked surprised, but quickly snapped back into a fierce expression. "Huh, so the useless wife gets cheeky, huh? How many dishes do you think you've cooked since you came here? No improvement at all. Truly useless. I won't eat such food. I won't eat anything you cook ever again." Saying that, she threw the food I made into the trash. While Rodney said nothing, he grinned slyly and didn't stop her. "I can't take it anymore." Beyond my breaking point, I left the house and rushed out the front door. Walking along the nighttime road, tears streamed down my cheeks. What did I do to deserve this? Why am I unfairly blamed for diligently doing housework? The more I thought about it, the more tears flowed. Then, someone ahead called my name.
Adeline?
I looked up and it was my husband. The moment I saw his face, the remaining tears I had been holding back overflowed.
What's wrong? Did something happen?
I could only cry in his arms. After finishing my crying, we sat on a park bench near the park, and I explained to him what had happened today.
Addie, I'm sorry. I was wrong to believe in them. I was foolish.
Saying that, he apologized repeatedly. After his apologies, based on his plan, we decided to do something at the family dinner the next day. On the day of the dinner, I was preparing the meals for the relatives. As expected, Chris's parents engaged in conversations with the visiting relatives, leaving all the preparations solely to me. Chris was occupied dealing with relatives who had drunk some alcohol and couldn't easily get away. I cooked alone, plated the dishes, and carried them to the table where everyone was seated. Then, a relative addressed Amanda. "Hey, by the way, why aren't your food here?" "Oh, just me? I didn't notice because we were talking." "Why is that? I often get treated like this." "Huh? Isn't that bullying your son's wife?" "It might be." As the relatives expressed concern, noting that Amanda's meals weren't there, she played the victim, starting to talk. "I just want to get along with her. Why do I have to endure such things?" The relatives, taking her words seriously, openly expressed anger towards me. "Adeline, what's going on here? I can't believe you're not serving food to Chris's dear mother. Do you always do this kind of thing?" "No, not at all. I do what she tells me." I spoke the truth, but...
So, how do you explain this fact? Is this one time an exception? Because you never bring food, you're continuing the same behavior today, right?
"No, that's not true." Angered by my firm denial, my uncle shouted loudly at me.
Liar! Isn't today's table proof that you're not treating her right? You demon! Stop bullying your husband's mother.
Then, Chris, who had been silently listening, slowly stood up.
Oh, Chris, you have to do something about this wife of yours. Not only does she bully your mom, but she's also a stubborn one. This is troublesome.
"That's right, Chris. You need to think about the parents who raised you with care. Don't get caught up with such a worthless woman."
Is that all you have to say?
My husband muttered, perhaps feeling pressured, and all the relatives turned their gaze towards him.
Everyone talking without knowing anything, right? If you insult my wife any further, I'll cut ties with everyone here.
He declared this in front of all the relatives.
Chris, what are you saying? You're going far off track. Cut it out. Shut up. Do you have any idea what Eddie has been through with them all this time? You know nothing.
He exposed the various harassments from them that I had to endure to the relatives. The relatives, who had been expressing anger, closed their mouths.
That's a lie. It can't be, Chris.
What has Adeline been telling you? You're trying to make us the bad ones.
You're out of your mind.
Yes, Chris. Retract what you just said.
Retract? That's impossible. It's the truth. If you're going to deny it to that extent, listen to this.
Saying that, Chris took out his phone, turned up the volume, and pressed the play button.
How could you think of marrying my son as such an incompetent one? You can't do anything properly. Can a wife like that handle our household?
The voice of Amanda played. Surprised expressions appeared, and she said,
What? Stop it right now.
She told my husband to stop the playback, but he ignored it and continued playing the audio. I wanted him to know about the fact of bullying, so I discreetly kept my phone in my pocket and pressed the record button whenever Amanda approached.
This isn't me. Surely she must have imitated my voice to record it and put me down. There's no way she does it. Doesn't it sound exactly like Mom's voice? I'm disappointed in you. No, this is...
As Amanda began to panic, I spoke up. Amanda, yesterday you said you would never eat my cooking again and threw away the dinner I made you, didn't you?
Huh? What are you talking about? I didn't say anything like that. Besides, why would I throw away the dinner you made for me? Mom, how far are you going to deny it? The recorded audio is still here. Please don't disappoint me any further. Okay, I get it. Please don't play the audio anymore.
Ignoring Amanda's plea, Chris replayed the recorded audio.
I suggested doing this today. I've warned Dad and Mom many times to stop the bullying.
Well, I don't remember bullying her. It was more like a guidance or advice. They had insulted me countless times, and now they had the audacity to say that. I was fed up and couldn't bring myself to speak.
If the bullying against her becomes unbearable, we even discuss moving out. It seems improvement is not possible.
Upon hearing my husband's words, Amanda and Rodney turned pale, hastily making excuses.
Sorry, I didn't mean it that way. I just did it because I love you so much. That's right. Mom has always cherished you. Please forgive her this time. Huh? This time? I've been saying it over and over. This is the end. We're leaving this house.
Upon hearing Chris's words, his parents slumped their shoulders in defeat. After that, Chris turned his face to the relatives and continued.
It seems you have some ulterior motives regarding my workplace, but it's just because we're relatives. There's absolutely no way. I'll use any influence to benefit you.
He declared it firmly. In fact, these relatives often asked him for financial favors or sought job referrals through his connections. As soon as Chris made that declaration, the relatives looked uncomfortable and glanced downwards. The family dinner came to a halt when I brought in the dishes. With everyone wearing awkward expressions, they began to leave the house. My husband and I returned to our room, leaving only Amanda and Rodney in the living room, surrounded by spreads of untouched dishes. The foolish expression on their faces from the moment is refreshingly unforgettable, something I'll never forget. In the following days, Chris's job transfer, which we had been considering for a while, was confirmed. We moved to a location near his new workplace, and of course, we didn't inform his parents of our new address. We have no intentions of telling them in the future. We earnestly wish never to return to such a life. They also used to boast about my husband's new job, and had always acted superior to relatives, but now received a harsh reality check due to this incident. Now, they quietly live alone, having learned their lesson. I, liberated from Chris's parents and their community, have started job hunting because there is no longer a reason for me to be a housewife. I want to continue married life while having connections with outside society from now on.